What's the first one?
All right, what's your name?
I'm Rebecca Pringle. I should say I'm your grandmama.
That's hey, either way works for me.
Uh,
Either way works for me.
okay.
And then what does the world look like through your eyes?
Well, the world right now looks very troubling to me. And it's not really the world. Well, the world is the people in it, right? Everybody just seem to be so angry and mean and hateful. And there are some good people, but I think the ugliness seems to overshadow the good thing that people do. I don't know whether it's more of it or it just bigger or it get more attention. Because I've never seen, black people so mean to each other. They seem to be wiping each other out. And you should be loving each other. And instead of using their gifts to benefit themselves and to try to make their life better, they just settle for so much less than they are really capable of doing for themselves. And I can't say the drug is the cause of that. It has a part in it, but it's not the cause. Because if you have a strong enough determination, you wouldn't get in that predicament in the first place, you know. So you have to learn about your choices. Of course, you know about that, don't you? But sometimes you just make the wrong choice. And when you go down that road so far, it seems like it's hard to turn around. It's hard to get back on the straight road again. All right, what's the next?
And then what lessons have you learned through life?
The lesson I've learned some have been rewarding and some have been tough. But I think if you look for good in people, you'll find it for the most part. But sometimes we overlook, the little things that mean so much. Sometimes a handshake and a smile can mean so much. And we've gotten away from that now. Everybody just in such a big hurry. Nobody have time for each other. And these electronic things, they have taken so much of space out of communicating with another human being. See, and they are good in their place, but sometimes they can be they're made for good, but people don't use them they take them and use them in the wrong manner, Instead of enhancing and improving, it seems to block out a lot of things that are important. Just like a good conversation. Not too many people have that anymore.
Yeah.
Sitting out having a good dinner, a meal together. Everybody just so busy. When we were coming up, we all, breakfast, dinner, and supper, we all sat at the table and had dinner together. Not too many people do that. And I know the time changed because the circumstances and situation changes. The economy changes. And people have to work now more so than they did, when I was coming up. But we didn't have none but each other. We enjoyed that. I always think about my dad. I just wish you could have met him. He was
Yes.
he had wisdom. He could have a conversation with the President of the United States. And he didn't, I don't know how high he went in school. I don't think he went to elementary school.
Goodness.
Yeah. But there was nothing he couldn't do. He could do carpentry, he could do masonry, he could do plumbing. The only thing he couldn't do was electricity, and they didn't have electricity there. But
Sound like some
anyway,
good
they,
times.
they taught us right from wrong, and they taught us how to treat people. They taught us things that most of the young generation now don't get. Respect yourself. And a lot of times people will look at who child you are. Oh yeah, I know such and such. I know who should. And if you did something that you had no business, they would take care of it. They didn't wait till you got home. When we got home, we got another whipping.
Uh-oh.
But kids didn't. We would fight, but I mean it was something like sand. It wasn't no guns and knives. Man, people don't fight no more. They just shoot you and be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so many our young black men. It just seemed like they just can't get it together or something. Most of them in jail and they should have been out there with a good job or something. Not in prison. But some will go there and then think when they get out, you think they would stay out. So it's just a vicious cycle. I wish I knew the answer. I knew I'd be a millionaire if I could find the answer to that one.
Yeah. All right, and then what about life do you enjoy?
Oh Lord, I enjoy everything now. And each day I enjoy it more and more. Just like coming up here and visiting y'all.
It is good to have you.
Yes, I really do. I just enjoy getting out in the yard, raking the yard, planting my flowers, just sitting on the deck having a cup of coffee in the morning, enjoying the fresh air. Just peace and contentment.
Sounds like the life.
So, yeah.
And what about life do you dislike?
I dislike that people just don't care about each other anymore. When I was coming up, all in the neighborhood, we would help each other. If one didn't have something, they'd make sure that you had it. And people show love, but now you got to lock up everything. Just walk through your yard and say, "Oh, I like this," and take it. And they don't mind killing you to do it. I just wish people would get rid of all of these guns that are so everybody can have one. And there's nothing worse than a fool and a gun.
True enough. Yeah.
But then again, it's all about, you got to have some pride. You've got to have some self-pride. You have to have some ambition. You've got to have some goals. And you just can't wait till you get 20 years old to get this. You need to start young. I want to do this. And if you put your mind to it hard enough, you can do it. And I really believe that. But I just wish more of our young people would be more conscientious of what life has to offer positively and not getting into these negative things that go down the road of no return. Okay.
And then what kind of future would you like to see?
Well, I would like to see the kind of love and care that we had when I was small, when I was coming up. Everybody cared about each other. If one of the neighbors got sick, everybody would get together and go over there and help make sure that they had the house clean or food cooked or whatever was needed. Nobody charged nobody nothing. You know, it was just love and compassion. Everybody was almost in the same boat. You know, nobody was any better off financially. But whatever they had, they share it. You don't hardly see that anymore. But we are our brother's keepers. Although there are some brothers you cannot help. Because if you give them $1, they'll come back and say, you got another one. But the people that you can help, and people do appreciate it. And once you help somebody and they appreciate it, you get in it, and you can see a difference in their life. You get just as much enjoyment out of helping them as they get out of receiving it. That's why they say it's more blessed to give than to receive. Because when you give something, you feel good on the inside. And people don't realize that. Just it's all right to receive if you receive it with the right attitude. You don't think people owe you. But a lot of people say, you got it, so why can't you give it to me? Nobody didn't give it to you. You worked for it. And I do think people depend too much on free stuff. When you work for it, you appreciate it a lot more than when somebody give it to you. And if you get out there and work and sweat for it, then you know what it is to get it. But now if somebody see something, if they want it, if they can kill you to get it, they'll get it. What happened to people's conscience? So I would like to see people see some love and have a conscience, show kindness, and get rid of all of the guns. They kill more people without the ones that are not in the war than the ones that in the war.
Yeah.
But that's life. I don't know. What's the next one?
And then what advice would you like to give to the younger generation?
Have self-respect. Set goals. Positive ones. Have a direction. And just don't settle for anything. Where they say reach for the sky. If you can believe it, you can receive it, you can do it. But then you have to realize that nothing come easy. It comes with a price. That's what I told John Kevin all the time. When he told me he was gonna drop out of OCS, and I told him, I said, any black person ever got anything easy? Because if you made it this far, I said, the next thing I want to hear I come out of your mouth is, Mama, come to my graduation. I ain't hear nothing else about he going to drop out. But just don't think that everything in life is easy, because it's not. You're going to have some hills to climb until the day you die. You might get over one hurdle, but as soon as you get over that and take a deep breath, there go another one. I'm a witness of that.
I hear that.
And that's it.
That's the last question. Any just in case I have some children, some children. Do you have some great grands? Anything you'd like to pass on to them?
Well, be respectful. And most young people nowadays, they don't know what that is. And it's not their fault, because if you don't teach a child, they're not going to know. And the only way they can learn is somebody teach them. What they learn, someone teach them, even if it's negative. And they're going to pick it up just like a sponge. But be respectful. Do the best you can, use the talents that the Lord give you to benefit yourself and others. Don't bury them like a lot of people do. And it's a joy in doing what you can do and do your best. Right now, to look at those quilts that I made, and when I came here, Sheila let me sleep under mine. When I went, one of that I made, and when I went to dark, I said, man, I'm sleeping up under something I made years, but almost 18 years ago.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, your kid was the last one I made. But that was an outlet for me. So when you get into something like I did, going through that divorce, that was horrible. But I didn't let it cripple me. I got into something else, and that was sewing. So you can't think two things, negative and positive, at the same time. So in order not to think something negative, I started sewing, and that was positive. And I made quilts until I got through that phase. But you just don't let negative, bad things put a taste in your mouth that you don't want to do nothing to get out of that situation. Because there is a way out of it, and it's not going to be easy. But if you're determined enough to get out of it, you will. And now things are so much better. And I just couldn't see where the next step was going to take. The Lord always opened up a door for him. And he still is. Every time I get in a rough spot, I say, Lord, how am I fit do this? I pray over it a little while, and the next couple of days I get the answer. So you just can't give up. Giving up is not an option. So you remember that.
I will. I will. Oh, well, thanks, Grandma.